Welcome back, Overwatch fans, to another amazing night.
We have a fantastic match tonight, no question about it.
Oh my god, yes!
Look up a run! Make sure they can't even follow up afterwards.
And Watchers down 2 in this fight thus far. Make that 3, make that 4 right now here. Dynamic team gets a 4-man tire.
Those who find the picks will save the fights, and they don't really need to save what they've already won.
100 and 3 wins the Primal Rage.
Experience tranquility.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and everybody else in between, good evening and welcome back to Tranquility Gaming Season 9 regular season coverage. Tonight, we wrap up the second week of stage number 2 with our North American Discord tier feature match, where Space Created will try to get their first win of the stage against the Dark Horse in Hades. Will Space Created be able to send themselves out of orbit, or will they be dragged down under by the God of the Dead himself? There's only one way to find out. My name is Balzi, and I'm joined by Karma on the cast and THC on production. Karma, how are you doing this fine day?
Doing great. A little bit chilly. Perfect day to stay inside, play some video games, watch some Overwatch gameplay. Couldn't be better.
Yeah, definitely. It's a fun day to watch these sort of matches, and things definitely will be getting hot here with, of course, the God of the Underworld in the match here. But we'll see how these two teams are going to be faring off. Again, as I mentioned, Space Created still looking for that first win, a very brutal 0-4 loss last week to Adelaide Eclipse to start off their second stage. Hades, on the other hand, they already got a win in stage number 2. They were able to beat Ragnarok Loki in what was seen as a pretty big upset to enter into the stage. It was a 3-2 win for them, but they've also been known as a team of inconsistency, so be interesting to see what Hades we see here. The Hades that could beat Space Created, or the Hades that will be giving a win to Space Created.
Yeah, and not even mentioning, both teams are very even throughout the entirety of Stage 1, too. They're both 3-3 coming into this game, and both have a fairly close map differential as well.
Yeah, definitely. Having that close map differential as well, with Space Created having -3 and Hades also having -3. So, I mean, if that doesn't tell you how close these two teams are in the grand scheme of things, I don't know what does. But we're going to be getting into the match here, starting off with our first map being on Lijiang Tower, which obviously has been always known as a brawl map. It's always had a lot of Reinhardt play, but now with Overwatch 2 coming out, there's been a lot of changes to the meta, and especially what we've been seeing on this map.
Yeah, I think a lot of teams have been sort of favoring, obviously that's Zarya because it's very strong, but even on Night Dark, I think a lot of teams are favoring maybe that sort of like fast-hitting dive almost.
Absolutely, as we're going to be heading in here to Lijiang Tower. It'll be interesting to see what these two teams come up with and how the style of Overwatch 2 will play into the favor of all these teams. My last cast match, we saw Faron Lijiang Control Center. I don't remember if it took the victory on that map or not, but still, the different style that you can see from these teams can really show off here, especially. And we're going right back to the lobby right as we enter in. You hate to see those production malfunctions, but you know what? Has to happen at least once a week.
Yeah, it really does. It really does.
But we're getting back into that now. They just had to update some of the codes. Remember to update your codes if you are running the matches and lobbies here in Tranquility Gaming. But we're going to be heading back into Lijiang Tower here in a second, and we'll get started with our first map in this series and see which team's going to be coming out with the dub. If Hades is going to lock in a top 2 seed when it comes to the playoffs, or if Space Creator are going to be trying to vie themselves for a top 2 spot in the playoffs. As we're going to be starting off on Lijiang Garden here. So we'll see what these two teams roll out with right now as the compositions are shown.
Yeah, and it looks like Space Creator is favoring this D.Va, almost like Hyper Dive, seems like, with the new Kiriko that just came out into comp earlier this week. Whereas Hades is going for a much more of a sort of very aggressive brawl style with the Orisa.
Yeah, definitely. It'll be interesting to see which comp gets the best of it. And also, yes, Aristotle on the Kiriko, as you mentioned. Kiriko just becoming eligible for Tranquility Gaming this week, so we'll see if Space Creator is going to use Kiriko to their advantage as the spawn doors open and the comps are unleashed as the teams make their way toward the center. Keep Swag on that D will be the first to meet them there, but Hades still want to push forward with this ball composition. We'll see if they're able to get the value as Victus falls extremely low on that Reaper, almost dies in the middle of it. Sludge is able to get the hack onto Evades and picks out that Lucio first. A big pick coming here for the favor of Space Created is Habutai trying to finish it out. Sludge also gets the kill into Serial, so now both supports dead for the side of Hades. Space Creator are going to take that advantage and run away with it as they'll get the first cap.
Yeah, and even with this pick onto the D.Va, D.Va's going to be back in a few seconds. Sludge did a great thing by sort of taking that short little off angle, just hiding onto the point, and just picking those very low targets, starting with Evades.
Absolutely. As now the team's coming out. Hades making a swap, putting They Call Me M onto the Zarya, which I'm a Zarya one-trick myself. I approve of the move. We'll see if it works into their favor here as they try to work with this brawl competition, taking that wide angle to start off here. They Call Me M looking just hit those alternate fires, try to land those bursts of energy as Keystone Flag wants to go to the backline with Habutai, but Habutai gets picked up by Hokage here to start off. Not a good start here for the side of Space Created as the Kiriko of Aristotle will also die as well. They teleported over to help Keystone Flag but weren't able to help them out enough as Keystone Flag now alone on the point with Saya and Sludge, trying to find some sort of real estate but will get DMX. Sludge is able to get the hack onto Serial, but at the end of the day, Hades have control of this point with this brawl competition. All this led to the staggers coming in for Space Created, and Hades is going to be able to get this point.
Yeah, the Zarya swap from They Call Me M is very, very good against the sort of mega dive comp, because especially since you can't DM a beam, and especially if you have a Zarya with very high charge, she's going to delete you like in an instant with even 40 plus charge.
Yeah, most tanks struggle against Zarya right now because that Zarya beam can penetrate everything. D.Va's DM, penetrated. Orisa's pinwheel, penetrated. Sigma shield, not so much, but still, you can run right past it. But still, Space Created want to try to find their way into this. They almost have this blade coming up from Habutai and the Kitsune Rush from Aristotle, so we'll see how they're able to use it. The blade comes out, able to slice Serial right into a pizza almost, as Space Created trying to find more picks, but they've lost their Sombra in Sludge. Now the blade comes out here from Hokage, trying to find some return kills as the Kitsune Rush is invested by Aristotle, but Saya is now dead. That beat no longer online, and now both support step with Space Created. Keystone Slab will invest the bomb, won't be able to get anything with it, but Space Created right now not looking at a good space with Hades continuing to control over this objective.
Yeah, I think they sort of misunderstood, because I think the Kitsune Rush with the blade combo is very, very good, getting those faster spins, getting a lot more DPS, and they sort of misused it. It seemed like they used blade first to try to get a big pick. They lost their Sombra to start off with, and then they just popped the Kiriko Rush right at the wrong time. It seemed like.
Now we'll see what the move is here from Space Created. They still have this beat from Saya, but they also have the EMP from Sludge. Graviton comes out here from They Call Me M, doesn't land on anything. His EMP hits both DPS. The beat used from Evades to try and make sure that the damage does not go fully in here, as now the EMP effects lingering. Hope Cage will die here to Keith Von Swab, and Big Fist falling extremely low here. Hack will go on to They Call Me M as the Blossom from Big Fist finds nothing. A beautiful E coming out from Keith Von Swag on that D.Va, and now Space Creative, they just need to clean up the remaining scraps. They Call Me M is on the point. Both supports are there to help out that Zarya and keep them alive for as much as possible, but as I say that, Serial ends up falling. All the stuff is They Call Me M in a base, and They Call Me M just trying to chase out any targets. Will get picked out by Saya on this Lucio. Space Creative will get the point, but 99% in favor of Hades.
Yeah, and if they lose this point right away, it's going to be very rough for Space Created if they lose this point. One thing though, Serial needs to be paying a little bit more attention, because that's 2 fights in a row that they died first. And if you lose your Baptiste first, you're more than likely going to be losing that fight.
Yeah, definitely. You have to be careful about that Baptiste. You need to make sure that your Baptiste stays alive here as Hades. Looks like they want to take this White Room approach just like they did last time. Bunkflag going to dive right in. The Blade comes out here from Habutai as well. Use the Immortality Field from Serial. Serial drops extremely low, will fall to Sludge, and Aristotle cleans up the kill on the They Call Me M. A very good hold so far from Space Creative. 1 fight win, and they're going to be able to take this first point.
Yeah, that was a very good Blade, getting them sort of in the middle of the rotation, getting that Blade, getting everything sort of taken out, and then just letting your team clean everything up.
So now Hades need to try and touch, but Evade ends up getting hacked out of the wall ride. The teleport is there from Big Fist, but it's not fast enough. Hades not able to touch the point in time. You can't call it a C9 because they were trying to. It just wasn't enough effort, and their Lucio is hacked. So the first point goes to Space Created here on Lijiang Tower as we head over to our next point, which is going to be Lijiang Night Market.
Yeah, and honestly, you're seeing this sort of hyper dives be really good, but they're sort of playing it a very pokey style. They're not really going in, they're going in to confirm the kills, but then they're getting out right away. It's not like how most people play, like a sort of very hyper dive. So I think it's very interesting to see how they're playing it right now.
Absolutely, and you see the comps, not a lot of changes coming out from Space Created, but Hades deciding to go onto the Sojourn here instead of the Reaper, and as I say that, they change that Sojourn to a Sombra, so they want to have that hack potential. And Habutai on the Sim TP, probably just going to be bringing everybody out as far as possible, or might be sticking on the TP. Nope, they're going back over to the Genji. So, basically the same comp coming out here from Space Created. Hades running a Sombra now instead of that Reaper to provide a lot more hackability. And you almost see Aristotle almost get picked out, but has that teleport already. But Sludge able to find the kill into Evades here. Not a good start for Hades as the hack goes on to Hokage, and the Immortality Field is forced out here from Serial. Space Created have the pick advantage. Vicfist is 12 health in your backline. You have to be wary of that if you are the side of Hades. First point is going to go over to Space Created.
Yeah, they did a really good job. If you get the Lucio first, they have no speed to engage on the targets.
Ooh, and I mean, a better target to pick out first is that D.Va, and Keith Von Swag loses their match, but Sludge able to find the kill onto the Sombra here. Make that 2 for Sludge in this fight. Almost make it 3 here. Evades will get burned down. Abutai there to finish out the pick, and Space Created doing a pretty good job being able to hold this. They Call Me M will kill Keith Von Swag, but that's the only casualty.
Yeah, no, this is doing really good for Sludge, taking those off angles, making sure to get those really crucial picks, it seems like. Even losing the D.Va first, okay, you know what, I'm going to be the carry now, I get 2 picks of my own.
Yeah, definitely. So now Space Created, they're looking to try and continue this hold. Hades trying to look to find their way in. See what they decide to go for here. Vicfist is going to be hacking this Kiriko here, making sure they try to cancel out all her abilities. Doesn't find anything yet, but They Call Me M is able to find Aristotle, but not at the cost of Serial again. We talked about Serial dying so much, and Saya unable to get the beat offline. They Call Me M burns them down before they're able to put it. That's what you call an Ajax moment, and that's also what you call Hades capping the point for themselves.
Yeah, and that's really big, especially now that Saya did use that beat. They don't have it for the upcoming Rev. So they're gonna just try to live it throughout anything they can. They do have that Immortation Suzu, but even then, it's only lasts a second.
Yeah, the Suzu from Kiriko only lasts 0.75 seconds, so it's not going to be enough to save you from a blade or a grab or any sort of ult. But the EMP is massive coming out from Sludge, lands on the 4, and the play from Habutai, there to complement it. 3 kills already here for the favorite Space Created. Big Fist will find the kill into Aristotle, and now Sai is dead, so no supports left here for the side of Space Created, but they're still keeping themselves strong. Keys Von Swag is literally 1 health, but at the end of the day, it's Space Created getting the point back for themselves.
Yeah, that's a really risky play there from Hades, using using the grab and the EMP for it, it seemed like it was going to be a bad play, but even then, they still got 2 picks. They can re-engage us very, very early.
Definitely could. The Kitsune Rush coming out here early from Aristotle will cause Serial to lose their life. Habutai also able to finish on the base. No more supports left for the side of Hades, and the bombs is going to be invested from Keysbong Swag to keep everybody off the point. They Call Me M will be the last casualty and get squished. You hate to see it. Okay, he's able to find out Sludge, but it's not enough to give Hades the win. 1 fight left for Hades.
Yeah, and maybe not even that. They have to still fight with 4 people almost.
Yeah, Keysbong Swag just wants to end it here right now. Forces out the Immortality Field here from Serial as the rest of the space created is just taking all the space right now in front of Hades. Vicfist is Evade's actually able to touch the point. Saya ends up dying, but Serial once again dead here. Hades still trying to stall this out. They have found the kill on the Habutai here, and the Shuzu has to be used here from Aristotle as the rest of Hades find their way back onto the point. Keysbong Swag and the Baby Diva will get picked out by Hokage here as Sludge is trying to find the kill on the They Call Me M. They Call Me M just like Keysbong Swag. 1 health, win a dream, keeping Hades in the fight.
Yeah, it's going to be tough for Hades to hold. They're on this very weird sort of stall comp, but even then, it's still a really good comp to hold. As I say that, as M looks like they're going to be switching.
Absolutely, so we'll see what the move is coming out here from Space Creative. They do almost have this EMP from Sludge online, so we'll see if it works. But Hades, they have to be worried that Hades are switching back over to the Zarya, and they want to try to punish this as fast as possible. Both Genjis dash right by each other's, trade like a slash on each side, but Hokage will end up getting picked up first there. Aristotle able to find the kill thanks to Sludge's hack. The beat invested early here from Evade before an ult is even expended from the Spider Space Created. As I say that though, Habutai dies to They Call Me M, and They Call Me M just trying to burn down the rest of the team here as Hades trying to find some stability. A 3-man EMP comes out from Sludge, lands on the 3 people, but it's gonna be enough here. Vicfist and They Call Me M, now Serial dead. All 3 recipients of that EMP down in the grave. Hokage now has to try and come back, but they aren't able to touch in time, and Space Creator will win the first map.
And that was a really good play from Space Created, taking advantage of Serial not really seeming out of position, just being picked off super early in almost every single fight.
Play of the game here goes to Sludge for that giant EMP there, being able to initiate the push here coming out from Space Created to get them that point very fast. But I mean, it was a very close affair between both teams. It wasn't an easy task there for Space Created to win this match, so it's going to be very interesting to see if they're able to keep up the pace here, if Hades can try to bring a map in their favor here as we go across the series and head into our next map, which is our hybrid map. So we'll see what Hades decide to choose and what map they're going to be trying to get their victory here on for their first map win of the series.
Yeah, but even with that, the brawl looks pretty good. First map goes to 99-99. It's very close. Second map, it looks like they had a little bit of struggles, especially after that first fight. They sort of, I don't want to say they fell apart, but Space Creed was just taking that advantage and just shoving it completely. So I'm excited to see what they're able to do with this hybrid map coming up.
Yeah, as we got the map selection here from the side of Hades, we are going to Paraíso for our second map of the day, which tends itself to have a lot of high ground as a payload map, or at least as a hybrid map. So it'll be interesting to see what Hades want to try to run there. If we're going to be seeing that Orisa, or if we're going to be seeing some sort of tank that can take advantage of that high ground, or any sort of heroes that can take advantage of the variety of high ground that you can have on this map here.
Yeah, my favorite thing to do on this map is just speed right underneath it. So I think the brawl comp, especially if Hades are on attack, could go really well for them. Just speed underneath, go to that red building, take control of that corner, and just sort of surround them from there. Because that whole high ground is just a big circle around the point. If you're able to just take that control of the red building and take that high ground from them, it seems like it's going to be over.
As we head in here to Paraíso, of course, one of the new maps that were introduced here in Overwatch 2. So we'll see what team's able to get the better of it. It looks like we're going to be seeing, it's going to be interesting to see. Paraíso has tended itself for a lot of compositions, so we'll see which team's able to get the better of it as we enter into the second map of the series.
Yeah, and this map is very interesting too. It's very colorful. It's very different than a lot of the Overwatch 1 maps.
It definitely is, Ed. It's going to be Space Created still on the defense here. Hades on the attack, and right now with the defense, we see Space Created popping out the Winston here. Sion and Aristotle running the Brigitte Ana, but also see that Sojourn and Genji coming out from the DPS line. So definitely an interesting composition, but nothing like, it definitely could work here on Paraíso.
Yeah, it really could. Winston's main thing is to just try to engage, especially with that 5-second jump. He can sort of get in, zap some people, get out a lot better than he could in Overwatch 1. And with it too, with the sniper monkey, almost it seems like he could take those duels at longer ranges and get people that are really low, just kill them right at the end.
Yeah, also in the notable swap coming in, Keegsmonk Swag is out. Lego My Ego coming in on that tank roll, so we'll see. This makes a difference here as Hades coming out with pretty much the exact same look that we saw them on the last map, albeit they have the Ana now of Serial hitting that big anti-nade on Saya and Lego My Ego, already burning down that Brigitte extremely low. They also have this Sojourn coming out from Victus, so we'll see if it's able to work in their advantage. And as I say that, both DPS are immediately dead. Space Created finding advantage here. Sludge and Habutai finding those first picks and being able to give a good first hold here to start off for Space Created.
Yeah, and that was a really big play by Aristotle, taking that sort of off angle to the left, sort of hiding away, and then getting a fairly massive nade with 2 people.
Absolutely, as we are seeing what the next fight will entail here as the 2 teams are battling it out through this corridor. Hades trying to figure out what their next move is going to be. Space Created trying to figure out what their next move will be. Like, what move would you recommend here for Hades as they start pushing into their next attack here?
I think if I was them, I would just run right underneath and not even take a shot.
Well, it's hard to run underneath you. You can barely get underneath. Lego My Ego, a very early dive. Habutai there to help them out as it's going to be another hold here from Space Created. They're just taking a very aggressive angle into this fight, but it's interesting. Last time we saw them take the passive angle, but they still were able to win, so we'll see if they're how they're going to be adapting as the match goes on.
Yeah, they're showing that you can fight this with many different ways so far.
Nano Boost comes out here, and the Lego My Ego is once again that aggressive push comes in. Serial caught off guard, and Habutai able to find the kill on that. The bomb comes out here from They Call Me M, and it will find 2. The Ana and Winston both dead. You cannot let that happen if your Space Created is now it's going to allow Hades to start pushing onto this objective. They still do not have Serial though, so they have to be careful about those healing numbers. Saya and Habutai, they're on the point trying to find themselves in, and it's Hokage trying to find their way in. Saya will end up dying, so now one of the supports dead here from the side of Space Created, and now it's Sludge dead as well. It looks like Hades will be able to cap at least 1, maybe 2 ticks here on this objective here for Parejo and try to find their way to getting that card out.
Yeah, and they might even cap the whole thing. It doesn't even look like Space Created will be able to touch.
Oh no, Lego My Ego there to touch, uses the Primal Rage, doesn't get slept from Serial here as the Nano Boost is invested onto They Call Me M, trying to find their way back into this fight here. They Call Me M's caught sleeping there in that little room, I believe, as Space Created trying to find their way back into this, but now Habutai dead once again. He's able to find the kill as now the overclocking is infected here from Dictus, and Hades continually trying to find their way onto this point, and they will be able to capture the first objective.
Yeah, that's really big. This first objective is very attack heavy, but even then, I would say that's a good hold on defense from Space Created. They were able to hold it for at least a minute, got a few seconds off the clock now, so they do only have about 350 to hold it, but it's going to be a lot difficult for Hades to push it as far as they can, especially with the blade coming out.
Absolutely. So we'll see what the move is here from Space Created. Obviously, baiting out some ults for ults of your own is a good sign, but we'll have to see if it's going to help them in this next fight as that payload starts creeping down the space of Parejo toward Lucio's concert hall. As Hades just looking to try and find their way into this fight, and Space Created looking to try and find a way to stop it, but that cart is still moving on the low ground. They're focused so much on this high ground that cart has not stopped. The bomb comes out here from They Call Me M, unfortunately isn't able to find anything, but they find the squish onto Habutai, and they had the blade up. The overclock comes out here from Sludge, but now Lego My Echo is dead as well. What a shot coming out from Sludge to eliminate Hokage, but it probably is not going to be enough right now. Evade ends up dying, however, so Space Created might still be in this engage. They have to force out They Call Me M and stop this card before it caps point B. They might not be able to touch it, however, as the rest of the team is pushing forward. Now, as I say that, Space Created find their way onto the point. Lego My Ego pushes forward and is able to find the kill on the Serial, and Victus dies as well, as now Space Created find themselves a hole.
Yeah, that was great from Sludge, just being able to get those opportunities with the overclock. And now it's at that point where it's the very end of point 2, something that's going to be very difficult, especially now that Space Created has that space on the sort of favela part of Parejo.
Absolutely. So we'll see how Hades is going to respond to this. You see that they have that Nano Blade online, so that could be a vital tool here if that Genji of Hokage does not die early. Blade comes out first from Habutai, also is a Nano Blade, but they can't find anything right now. The sushi shop is empty. Serial ends up getting sliced out in the end of it, as Habutai will be able to find the kill on the Ana, and that's just going to send Hades retreating immediately.
Yeah, but even that's great usage. They only get one pick out of a Nano Blade. You know Hades has to be like, okay, I'm glad it wasn't a team wipe. We can just reset. We did lose our Ana, so we can just reset this really fast, get our Nano Blade up, and just try to wipe them from there.
Lego makes a very aggressive push into the backline here for Space Created, trying to find the kills, but the Disruptor Field looks like it was invested there by Vicfist. But now Lego pops the Primal Rage and finds the kill on the Vicfist there. The Sojourn now out of the picture, but Space Created, they want to try to find more. It looks like they want to try to keep aggressing onto this, but obviously Hades having none of it, just pushing way back to point A right now and just waiting for the perfect opportunity to push in.
Yeah, and it seems like it should be. I would say if I'm Hades, we need to go soon.
Yeah, you really have to go soon right now if you're Hades. It looks like they're going to be making this right side rotation, but Serial, a little late to the party, gets that beautiful sleep on the Lego Maego, keeping the Winston alive, and the beat invested from Kincaid as well, keeping them alive. Now the Nano Blade comes down, and Hokage finds 3, slices and dices the remaining members of Space Created, as that looks like it's going to be a point cap here for the side of Hades.
Yeah, and that was a great save from Evade saving Serial there. It looked like that they were going to die pretty early on, something that we've been talking about before. But they were able to save them, get the Nano Blade off, and just wipe entirely of Space Created.
Yeah, and the rest of Space Created did get close spawn as well, and they wanted to try to push in. You saw Lego Maego try to jump in, but wasn't able to make the jump far enough here. So Hades gonna be able to get some late picks here, as Hades will be getting that second point, start pushing the card through Lucio's Concert Hall.
Yeah, and Lucio's the hall here is very difficult, especially with that high ground. If Space Created is able to stop the payload and hold on to that high ground, it could be wraps for Hades, it seems like.
So we'll see what Hades' plan is moving forward. They do have this overclock from Vicfist as well as the bomb from They Call Me M. We saw the bomb be a crucial point in success, but already Hokage dies, but Sludge now dead to They Call Me M, and now once again Serial picked off on that Ana. We've seen a lot of fights where Serial's been dying first and has been the crucial pick. It looks like it's going to be no exception here, as Hades might be backing out. They invest the bomb from They Call Me M, unable to find anything, and now with Vicfist said, you have to imagine this has to be a retreat from Hades.
Yeah, this really should be. Only having that overclock, though, for the side of Hades is going to be very difficult, especially with there only being a minute left on the clock.
Absolutely. You see the ult on Space Created. They had the Nano Blade once again. We saw how well that was able to do last time. And the rest of Hades up in the small room. Evades gets chopped down. Almost a chop down onto the Genji. And as I say that, Habutai finds 2 more as the Nano Blade, a success once again. Okay, thank you for not dying to the baby. Still, Space Created find the win easily with that Nano Blade.
Yeah, and they all went to that right room, something that's very easy to just slash dash and just get a 3K. It's going to be very difficult for Hades now.
Absolutely. All the Hades have is this overclock from Vicfist. They're going to use it immediately as Lego Maego starts pushing in, but gets beamed down. The anti-nade from Serial was perfectly timed. And now Lego Maego out of the fight. It means that there's only one tank on the field, but it is They Call Me M on that D.Va. Habutai, however, they're not done. They're able to find Vicfist, but they end up getting anti-naded from Serial and die once again. Serial starting to finally show up here with these anti-nades, and now that cart will be moving. Overtime will be triggered here for Hades, but now it's one step off that cart and game over.
Yeah, Lego Maego does have this primal too, so just the disruption that he can cause with it.
Absolutely, and you already see Lego Maego dive straight onto Serial, gets woken up from the sleep dart, and the beat is investigated from the base to keep everybody else alive. You see again that Lego Maego has this primal, will use it onto the Ana as the Nano Boost is forced out onto Hokage, trying to build up that blade as fast as possible, but not able to do it before the Nano Boost expires, and they get slept! You hate to see it! Aristotle coming up clutch with the blade sleep onto the Dragon Blade, shutting down any potential of Hokage finding any sort of slices, and the cart will stop at 64 meters, courtesy of Space Created's hold.
Oh, that was a great sleep from the side of Space Created. I think that was the game-winning play right there.
That may as well be the game-winning play, or not even game-winning, maybe even map-winning here, but still, that could be a very decider sleep here, as Hades had everything ready. They had the Nano, they used it early to make sure that the Ana didn't die before the Genji built up the blade. Got the blade built up, but then it was just a sleep coming out from Aristotle that changed the entire pacing of that fight. So now it's going to be on Space Created to see if they can push it up to that 64-meter mark here inside Lucio's Concert Hall. Hades want to try to stop it, and no surprise, we see them sticking with the D.Va, albeit with a different support and DPS line.
Yeah, this end too could be very, very good, especially onto a discorded Winston. D.Va can just sort of melt them almost, and so it could be very, very good with that sort of spec, especially with the snap kick too, the sort of new passive in Overwatch 2, just getting that little bit disrupted. And then with the Ashe, if they're holding that right after you get past the bridge where that bus is, a dynamite there could be huge, especially with an anti-nade.
Yeah, absolutely. This double hit scan approach from Hades is risky when you look at Space Created's dive setup, but it can do a lot of damage here with that Sojourn and Ashe combined. Usually you see Sojourn and Ashe interchange with compositions, but here, Hades want to commit entirely into both of their strengths, as Space Created going to be coming out on the exact same composition we saw them on the attack. The Sojourn, Genji, Winston, Brig, Ana here, trying to set up the dive here to start out. Might see them go underground as well, but obviously Lego My Ego is ready for the dive in, and they start diving right in. Big Fist drops extremely low, able to escape there with those rocket jump boots, as Space Created is still trying to find their way in. Sludge finds the railgun shot onto Hokage here, so not a good start coming out here from Hades, as Space Created are trying to create the space indeed and find their way onto this point quickly, and immediately see Hokage switching off to the Genji, as the Fate's able to pick out Sludge. So the dive comes in here from Lego My Ego, trying to keep themselves in this fight, but now with the rest of Hades pushing forward, it's probably going to be a retreat here from the side of Space Created.
Yeah, but there's still that very good advantageous position of, I like to call it red rooms, red building, but even then you can get that up dives really good there.
Yeah, especially when you have a big anti-nade coming out there from Serial, just hitting that room exactly, and now the rest of Hades being able to clean up. Hokage does die to Habutai, but the rest of the picks are all Hades in the kill feed.
Yeah, and even then, Hokage will get back very, very fast, especially playing that Genji, just dashing through buildings and everything like that.
See what the approach is here from Hades with this compositional approach. They have the Nano Boost from Serial, which obviously is way ahead of the Blade coming out here from Hokage. So we'll see what the move is going to be here. Space Created start making their approach into that room that you usually say where the brawl compositions go. Lego My Ego will take the first dive onto the supports here, as the base able to pick them out, and the Nano Boost goes on to They Call Me M. The Blade comes out here from Habutai, no Nano with it, but trying to find any sort of picks, won't be able to find anything except the spawn room as Hades. Sends the volley straight to their head. Space Created, however, they're still in this fight. 2 picks go their way here, Big Fist included, who has that overclock online, and now with They Call Me M, Queen forces to use the bomb. This is looking dangerous here for the side of Hades. The Nano Boost goes on to Lego My Ego, trying to find value here on this Winston, but They Call Me M wants the backline of Space Created, but the rest of the team is there to prevent it, as now the overclock invested here from Big Fist finds the railgun shot onto Lego My Ego, trying to find more here, trying to get that slot the shot onto Sludge, who uses their own overclock in the midst of things. Sludge brought extremely low, but is able to survive and pick up They Call Me M as well. This is looking very back and forth, but at the end of the day, Space Created definitely have a chance now, and even more so with the pick on do evades.
Yeah, and even with this rally too, a great engage tool, especially since you won't be able to die through it seems like.
Absolutely, and now Space Created make their way onto the point. Big Fist and Hokage dead. All the touches at Ana, and now the D.Va, They Call Me M, return into the fight, but Hades looks like they want to back up right now. They want to give this point to Space Created so that they can take the high ground.
Yeah, they're just going to, it looks like they're just going to wait, set up for point 2, and especially with that high ground control, it could be the, oh, maybe not?
Yeah, I saw They Call Me M staying by that door. They definitely wanted to go back into the point here. They will lose their mech for it, and the rest of the team now coming in. The Blade is invested here from Hokage, trying to find a sort of pick, but Sludge has found They Call Me M, and now Hades is trying to find any sort of pick here. Evase is able to pick out Aristotle, but not at the cost of both of the DPS for Hades, and the point is going to be going to Space Created.
Yeah, that's really rough for Hades. I think they were hoping to maybe get a pick or 2 and try to turn the fight, but even then it looked like that. I thought they were just going to hold on to it, try to keep that control of the high ground, and now they're just sort of giving it up completely.
Now we'll see what the move is coming out here from Hades now, as it looks like they want to try a little bit of aggressive push here on the Space Created here, as Space Created want to try to take this top approach here. You see this red building that they obviously want to try to invest in. Lego My Ego also has the Primal Rage. See if they're able to use it here to the advantage. Lego My Ego drops extremely low, but the nade is there to help out from Aristotle, and once again, just like before, that card is still moving while the fight is taking place in this room. They Call Me M gets the Nano Boost, gets swept up first, but now starting to pressure onto the side here of Space Created. Almost gets the pick off on the Sludge, but is unable to get the pick, and Lego My Ego is now in your backline and has found a base. Uses the Primal Rage, picks out Serial, and now the team of Hades is starting to fall apart.
Yeah, here comes a bomb though. Could get 2.
Oh! Horus could get 3! They call me M for the second time this map! Has turned it around with a Diva Bomb!
Yeah, that's massive. They don't call them M for a reason. That bomb is just perfect.
That you could not have scripted a better bomb coming out there from Hades. 2 times in a row now. They Call Me M has saved the team from losing a point or at least losing a fight. So great job coming out there from They Call Me M. And now Space Created have to try and reset, but they do have this Nano Blade coming up from Aristotle and Habutai. So we'll see if they're able to use it to their advantage here. Space Created try to push themselves into this room as usual. The Nano Blade now going to be unleashed. Or the Nano Blade, the Nano not actually applied, but if they still die, Serial however finds the kill on the Lego Maego. The Nano, a little bit too late, but still better late than never as Habutai still trying to find some value here. But now Hades doing a pretty good job on this hold thus far. They may be down their Zen, and their Zen may be running back in the fight, but still, Space Created looking for answers, and now it's Sludge dying. Those answers are going to be much harder.
Yeah, that Nano too being late really ruined it. But it's turnable.
And his turnable Saya able to get the kill into Hokage, and now Big Fist dies as well. So Space Created might have just found themselves back in this fight. Serial stuck in the corner, gets picked out. They Call Me M's bomb won't be a savior this time, as Space Created might just have been able to bring themselves back. Evase is forced to use the Transcendence to keep themselves alive here, as Hades have to retreat. Space Created on their way to try and capping the second point.
Yeah, that rally from Saya too just was able to turn the fight almost completely. Unfortunately, they weren't able to actually cap the points. They only have 30 seconds left, but even then, they saved a lot of their lives.
Absolutely, and now only 30 seconds remaining for Space Created. As I said that line where they were pushing the card, they have not pushed it far. They were waiting for the rest of the team to respawn here. So Space Created looking in danger right now, and you look at the ults of Hades. They have the Nano Blade of their own. The Nano applied right onto Hokage, trying to go right in, slashes Saya to bits. And now Habutai dies as well. Sludge is dead as well. Back to the spawn with you, as Hades trying to bring Space Created back to the underworld where they belong. A team kill for Hades, as overtime will start, but it will burn immediately. Hades will tie us up going into halftime.
Yeah, and that's a great Nano Blade. Those small rooms are just death fodder, it seems like, for Nano Blades.
Yeah, absolutely. The Nano Blades really were a turning factor here. Habutai's Nano Blade was the one that got the play of the game, but really, a lot of Nano Blades throughout this entire fight were really fight defenders. You saw a lot of these crucial ultimates, the Nano Blades, the Diva Bombs, all winning these fights for either team. And yep, it's glad to see that Habutai did not die there. That would have made that play of the game a lot worse. But at the end of the day, it's a very close affair between both of these teams, and it's dependent on those life-saving ultimates that can make or break your game.
Yeah, not even to mention Sludge's overclock too. Getting 2-3 with it, almost being able to just turn the fight immediately. And we've been seeing it from multiple maps now where it's like, okay, these guys, they know how to play the game. They are very close and they're very tough-willed. Who's going to come out on top now?
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be interesting to see when we come back from the halftime. We'll see if Space Created are going to get their first win of stage number 2, or if Hades are going to be locking themselves into a number 3 or number 4 seed for our playoffs. We'll see you right after the break.
goodbye.
Things are getting heated here in our Discord tier North American feature match. It's currently tied at the half between Space Created and Hades, vouching for a win here in stage number 2. Bowsy here with Karma as we head into our next map of the series. It's going to be an escort map chosen by the side of Space Created, and that map still has yet to be decided from my word, but well, actually, no, as I've heard now, getting live intel, it's Route 66 that Space Created have chosen. So we'll see if this map is going to play into their favor, and if they're going to be able to try and get a win here, or if they're going to be trying to put themselves at match point.
Yeah, and I think it will actually be really good for Space Created. Route 66 is a very dive-heavy sort of map, and so far we've seen them play dive metas, it seemed like. Very hyper dive on Li Zhong, a somewhat sort of more stable dive, I guess, on Paricio. So maybe we'll see some more dive coming out from them.
Absolutely. And speaking of, I mean, we saw a lot of D.Va and we saw a lot of Winston. And speaking of diving, there are also a lot of matches that we also are going to dive in real quickly to other matches going on. Of course, our Discord tier North America, all of our matches are happening tonight, apart from a select few, and results are coming in for some of those. Reminiscence were able to take a 3-1 win over Avalon. Reckless Upsilon got their second win of the season over Monarch. Reminder, their first was up against Hades. Poseidon got a 4-0 win over Nemesis, and the Galactic Gibbons took a 3-1 win over Redacted. And also in the group that these two teams share, Adelaide Eclipse lost a forfeit loss to Loki, meaning Loki win that match 4-0, which basically throws an entire monkey into this wrench when you consider this pool. But now as we see the compositions coming out here, Space Created going to be now on the attack with Hades on the defense. And we're seeing a Junker Queen in the spawn room from Space Created. This might not stick, but if it does, it's going to be interesting.
It will be very interesting, especially I feel like Junker Queen is a very sort of linear champ. They like having that sort of just running at you sort of thing, whereas Route 66 does have it a bit, but I think it might just be memeing. It is Lego My Ego. They love to meme, I feel like, from the few matches that I've casted of theirs. But who knows? This could actually be staying on the Junker Queen.
We'll see what the move is here from the Spider Space Created as the doors are about to open. You also see Hades running a similar comp to what we saw, and there goes the Queen. Now it's the Monkey. Great. Like, I might go back onto the Winston. No offense, just, Junker Queen's fun. But still, Hades coming out on this D.Va defense, just like we saw them run a lot of on Parajo, which actually got them the map win on Parajo, so we'll see. It wasn't to their advantage, but already you see Sludge. We saw their performance on Lijiang Tower with the Sombra, and they're back on the Sombra once again here.
Yeah, their Sombra was very, very good on the Lijiang, even though Sojourn was pretty good, but their Sombra was just otherworldly, it seems like.
Absolutely. Space Created do make an attempt at a dive there, but unable to find anything, and Sludge gets found out there by Ebates on that Zenyatta, so Space Created still looking to try and find their way into this. The dive will come in here now from Lego My Ego, and same with the rest of the team. NCD coming out from Serial doesn't land on anything, but now you see that Hokage is hacked there on the Genji. Now Space Created trying to push this cart. They've almost rounded the final corner before they hit the first point. And now you see the rest of Hades trying to fight them back. They call me M, gets anti-nated here as the rest of Space Created try to find their way in. But now Habutai going right on to Vicfist, unable to find the kill. Now Lego Maego finding the kill, finding the dive onto that Sojourn. And now Vicfist just getting pounced on from every single direction. Somebody give this Sojourn a shield. They need it desperately right now. Aristotle will find the kill onto them after all of that pressure going on to them. Surprising it's the Ana to do it, but now Space Created start finding their way in. Sludge just cleaning up the support, and now Hades gonna have to back out.
Yeah, that was really good. They were able to keep Victus up for a while, but even then, they were going to fall at some point, and it just so happened to be that point.
So now as we head into the net, so now it looks like Space Created look like they want to try to cap the second point, but Hades want to continue pushing in. It's going to be difficult considering M does not have their mech back yet, but looks like they're trying to touch the point regardless of that. The mech comes in, and the touch is there, only 0.3 meters left. The bomb comes out from They Call Me M, will eliminate Sludge on the Sombra, and Hokage able to get the kill on the Habutai, but you gotta step on the point, Hades. It's a little bit important to step on the point, or else you will have what we call a Charlie Niner. Space Created to get the first point.
Yeah, and that looks rough. It looked like looked like it was gonna be a great back and forth fight. Both teams got 2 picks, and then Hades just ended up being like, you know what? You can have it. We don't want the points anymore.
You can have it. That's pretty much the argument we went through there. Space Created still trying to push forward. They almost have this EMP and Blade online. They had to use the Nano Boost, I believe, to keep Ego up. So we'll see Space Created make the move necessary here. That is a good anti-nade coming out there from Aristotle. Lands on the Hokage, and the Blade comes out from Habutai as well to clean up the base on that Zenyatta. Space Created will continue pushing this card forward.
Yeah, that was really good hold by Evades. It seemed like they were still very early. They used what? They used just Blade almost. I think they used Nano a little bit earlier, but they still have that Transcendence to be able to touch the point, especially for Sludge's EMP.
So now as we see Space Created still rounding the corners here, Hades coming out of that spawn area, trying to find their way back onto the point here. They call me battling right in face with Lego Maego, gets anti-nated, but Lego Maego, the Disruptor Field from Victus is too much and kills them out. The Blade now activated here from Hokage, as now they're able to find the kill to Aristotle, but Habutai uses the EMP. Saya just falls off the map. Okay, might have been a miscoordination there on the bash, but Hades, at the end of the day, is going to be able to win the fight.
Yeah, not gonna lie, I thought Hokage was gonna fall off the map with Saya, but luckily they didn't. Luckily they got their dash back. But it was still really good. They were able to keep the trans through the EMP too. So they're just holding onto that trans, waiting for the perfect time to use it.
Yeah, the good news is if you're able to hit a target and they jump off the edge, it counts as an assist, meaning that Genji's dash gets to reset. So Hades, Hokage, a little lucky there, as now Space Created continue to try and make their push here. They do have this rally from Saya whenever they want to use it. They're trying to line up for that anti-nade. It's going to cost them their life. Beautiful dive coming out there from Lego Maego, and the Transcendence is forced out from Evades as well. Vicfist uses this overclock to try and keep them into it, and They Call Me M also invest the bomb. Might have been a little bit overinvested here from the side of Hades. So many ults used, not a lot of picks found, and now Lego Maego just dives straight in, gets the kill into Evades, and now Hokage is dead here. Make that Vicfist added to the list, and it's going to be Space Created continuing to push this card forward.
Yeah, Hades used basically every single ult. I don't know if you saw, but when Serial died, they were using Nano. And if you kill the Ana before Nano reaches a target, it's technically considered a projectile. So it was completely used. They used 4 ults and they still lost the fight there.
You hate to see it. You hate to see it a lot here for Hades, as now the cart will enter into the Deadlock headquarters. And we see some swaps coming out here from Hades. M now going over to the Zarya, Serial to the Baptiste, and Evades over to the Lucio, along with Vistus going on to that Cassidy, excuse me, as they want to try to go for a more brawl composition here inside the headquarters.
Yeah, and I think that's going to be really good. Brawl on this type of headquarters is very, very comforting for most teams.
See what the move is here from Hades. Vicfist already able to find a good kill with that Magnetic Grenade on that Saya, and Aristotle dead as well, means Lego Maego will be joining them back in spawn. Habutai and Lego Maego are able to find some picks here on both supports for Hades, but at the end of the day, it's going to be a win here for Hades here in this fight.
Yeah, and that Zarya switch too. I think both the supports were trying to take that sort of high ground on the left, going through the Mega, and just sort of met face first with the Cassidy of Victus.
Now we'll we'll see what the move is coming out here from Space Created, trying to push this cart forward. They do have some ults online, including Sludge's EMP, which we've seen historically has gotten a lot of value in this series. So we'll see if they're able to make it used again. But Victus already finds the first kill onto Habutai. The EMP is invested, lands onto 3, but Victus has found Saya as well. That Cassidy doing a lot of work here with those magnetic grenades, and it's going to give Hades the fight, even with EMP invested here from Sludge. Lego Maego will use the Primal, trying to find the kill here onto Sirio. Will be able to find that kill on the Baptiste, but I don't think it's enough to save the fight here for Space Created.
No, I don't think so either, unless they were really going to pick up a Zarya, but they are having Hades use ult.
Yeah, ults are being forced out. Habutai uses their blade, Hokage uses theirs, and it's starting to look back and forth, and suddenly Space Created are able to bring it back for the Prince to defeat and push the cart forward?
That should not be possible. I'm sorry, but no. I don't agree.
Yeah, that is very questionable decision making for both teams, but I mean, it got Space Created the fight win, and now the final push comes in here. The Deadeye is used here from Victus, finds the kill onto Habutai immediately, and Lego Maego dies to Hokage, who switches over to the Reaper, and now a second kill for Hokage onto the Lucio will give Hades a little bit of a hold.
Yeah, and they're looking for this Baptiste. Aristotle got out. Did he? Oh, he
you
did.
hear the Immortality field. They know that Aristotle's over there, but the wall from Habutai is going to keep that Baptiste safe. Good save there from Space Created.
Yeah, but They Call Me M has this grab, which it looks like they're going to be trying to use early, so that way Space Created cannot touch it.
So now we'll see what the move is here from Space Created. They switch over to this brawl style of their own, but the Graviton Surge from They Call Me M is massive. However, they end up dying to Lego My Echo here, so all of a sudden Space Created in a little bit of advantage. Echo does die on that Orisa thanks to Victus yet again. We've been talking about this Cassidy pick so much, and it's working wonders here for the side of Hades. They're going to be able to get the team kill and shut out any chance of Space Created pushing this cart to the end of the map.
Yeah, and that was a great play by even though they did die, they were still able to hold them very far off.
Yeah, Lego Man comes back here on the ball stall. The window comes out here from Aristotle, but right now it looks like it's all last-ditch effort here. Saya does invest the beat, and now that cart will be moving a little bit here from the side of Space Created. They're trying to keep themselves into it, but now that magnetic grenade coming out from Victus will eliminate Saya. Lego Maego dies, so does Aristotle. Evades will die to Sludge, but Victus and Deadeye will eliminate Habutai. All that's left is the Sombra Sludge they won't be able to touch, and Hades will be able to hold with 66 meters taken by Space Created.
Which even then, that's still pretty good for a Route 66 third point. Route 66 third has always been considered to be one of the more tougher points to push in some instances. So even with that, I would say if I'm Space Created, I'm like, okay, we fought our best fight. We did a little bit of mistakes here and there, but I think we can get this. We can hold them. We can hold them to a very closer defense.
Absolutely, as also other scores are coming in as I'm going to be reporting on them throughout the match. Chicago Deep Dish were able to take a 3-1 win over Joey Esports, continuing their undefeated run. And MI7, they were looking really good up until stage 2. They just got swept by the Harmony Tier last season's Harmony Tier champions Doodles. So it has not been a good look for MI7 as the stage has not worked out in their favor. But now as we head over to the attack here for Hades, we're going to see Space Created continuing with this Sombra Genji Winston composition. We'll probably either see Sai here on the Brigitte or Zenyatta here.
I would say the Brig, because they've been sort of favoring that as much as they can. But hopefully they pick soon. Okay, yeah, they do pick the Brig. But yeah, this is basically the same comp they've been running. And then Hades was seizing the Kiriko. Looks like they're going to be sticking to sort of standard, sort of how they've been playing recently.
So we'll see what the move is here from both teams as Hades coming out. We're pretty much seeing the stock standards of these two teams. Space Created like to run a variation of the former 6-man dive, Shadow Dive from Overwatch 1, albeit with a Genji and no second tank. Hades like to run this D.Va composition with the Sojourn Genji, and that seems to be what these two teams' comfort picks are, as Space Created looking to try to halt this cart here from Hades as that cart approaches the girders here on Route 66. The die comes in here from Lego Maego. No hacks initiated from Sludge, thanks to an anti-nade coming out from Serial, as Hades still trying to find their way. A big sleep on the Habutai forces Lego Maego to push forward to keep that Genji alive, but Lego Maego will fall as a result. So a really good play coming out there from Hades to identify the sleep and force Lego Mayego to push forward to keep that Genji alive. Now he baits, trying to get the kill to Aristotle. Another good sleep coming out from that Ana. Aristotle's hit a really good sleep time after time in this match, and that was no exception there, but still, kills are starting to go in favor here for the side of Hades with Hokage getting that kill on the Habutai. Lego Mayego trying to come back into the fight, but they'll just get burned down by this disruptor field, albeit not without finding the kill on the Victus.
Yeah, even though the Hokage was, or Habutai was slept, it's surprised that he was still alive during that whole thing, because, and Lego was the one to die there.
Now Hades only 3 meters away from capping that point. Lego Mayego diving straight in onto Serial, who gets hacked out by Sludge, forces that Ana into a bad position and kills out that Ana immediately here. So Space Created pretty good start to this fight, and it looks like Hades want to try to keep pushing this card forward, but now with They Call Me M losing their mech, Hokage getting hacked and killed out by Lego Mayego, it has to be the fight over.
Yeah, and I think they could have capped it. If I'm not mistaken, it looked like that a few people got off a little bit too early to try to go for that sort of stagger kills. I don't know if I'm just making that up in my mind, but I think they could have capped it. But even then, that's a great re-engage from Space Created.
So we'll see what Space Created's defense is going to look like here, as that card only a few meters away. Hades do have some ults online, including, I mean, I've talked about it before, They Call Me M has the bump, but the EMP comes out first from Sludge, lands onto 3, including They Call Me M. Victus and Serial die immediately. Lego Mayego will die. The bomb is able to find Aristotle, almost gets the squish off on the Habutai, but it doesn't land immediately. But now, all of a sudden, Hades finding their picks once again. Hokage gets the kill onto Sion. All the left here are the Genji and Sombra from Space Created. It looks like Hades are going to be able to finish them off and cap the first point here on Route 66.
Yeah, and it looked like They Call Me M's bomb was going to be a lot bigger, too. It looked like it was going to get multiple kills, but luckily it did get the Ana, and then they were able to follow it up with getting another pick there as well.
So now Hades trying to push forward here and keep the space for themselves, make sure Space doesn't get any space of their own. But Habutai and Aristotle have this Nano Blade. We've seen a lot of it work, and the Nano Blade is going to come out here from the side of Habutai. Doesn't land onto the Lucio evasion. That could be crucial, as now there's no targets nearby. Habutai doesn't get anything with the Nano Blade. That Serial, however, is now dead to Sludge. So Hades now down there Ana in this fight. Now the push comes in here from the side of Space Created, and that massive anti-day coming out from Aristotle will secure Space Created the hole.
Yeah, Serial was just sort of out of position, hiding in the sort of dark cave by themselves. Not really able to get any peel from the team, sort of trying to hide away from the bomb, or from the blade, and even then just died on their own.
Hades now trying to push this card for their own. They Call Me M trying to build up their mech as fast as possible. Nobody from Space Created there to contest them on it, and they will be able to get that mech back online. The beat comes out from base to secure it, and now the Nano Blade from Hades locks right onto Saya, eliminates the Brigitte immediately, and now Aristotle is dead as well, but now there's no support on either side, as Sludge and Lego Mayego are able to find Serial in the base. Space Created, they need to try to find these picks fast, or else they're not going to be winning this fight. Victus and Habutai now dead. The bomb comes out here from They Call Me M, not able to squish anybody with the remech, as now the rest of Hades just trying to finish off these kills with Space Created. The EMP comes out from Sludge, lands onto 2, lands onto 3, but there's no follow-up because the rest of the team is gone. Hades will push the cards.
Yeah, that's the one time that I'm going to question Sludge's decision right there. He used the EMP when everybody on the team for Space Created was dead. They were all back in the spawn. Even people that were still alive were just walking out. So they should have used that EMP to try to re-engage this, but instead they just used it there and sort of messed up the fight.
Sludge's EMP usage was not ideal there. Hopefully she'll be able to build a new one. The Overclock is coming in here from Victus, gets hacked out by Sludge, but if Bates is able to pick up Habutai here, not a good start, and now with Lego Mayego dying to the railgun shot, Saya dying to They Call Me M, make that Aristotle dying to them as well. It's going to be Hades pushing this card to the second point with 3 minutes on the time bank.
Yeah, and this could be very difficult. This could be very good for Hades. They only have to push it. They don't really have to push it. They don't have to push it all the way, I should say. They do have to push it pretty far, but it's still very winnable for them.
Yeah, definitely. We'll have to see if Space Created have any answers here. You see the ultimate percentage. They have a rally from Saya, and they're almost set at Nano Blade from Habutai and Aristotle, which has historically won them some fights if it's connected onto the right targets. Serial gets hacked to start off here. Sludge obviously in the back line of Hades, just pestering that Ana, trying to make sure that they can't get a lot of value here. Space Created waiting for the engage. Rada comes out here from Saya as the rest of the team starts pushing forward. They Call Me M is right in the crossfire of that Brigitte, and Hokage able to find the kill on the Lego Maego. Serial and Evase now dead, however, as the blade comes out here from Habutai. No nano needed to get two, and Space Created will be able to hold this cart with 33 meters taken.
Yeah, and I think that's really good for Space, not really needing to use the Nano Blade there. So they just hold onto it. Aristotle hold onto the Nano, so that way they can use it onto Lego Maego during the, I think, the EMP engagement is what they're going to use it on.
Yeah, definitely. So it's going to be interesting to see how these two teams respond to this next engage. Again, we see ults coming up on both sides here. It's going to be a matter of who uses their ult first and which one uses it more effectively. Habutai trying to go straight in, find that kill on Diana, but it's going to be the rest of their team finding kills. Lego Maego finds both supports, and Sludge finds Victus, and it's going to be another fight win here for Space Created. They've already burned off half that time bank.
Yeah, and this is a great hold from Space Created. They have this high ground control. They're taking these engages very, very early, and they're just collapsing onto Hades. They're finding where Serial is, picking them first, and then just sort of running at the rest of the team. Oh.
Yeah, as we see Sludge has his EMP, it's going to be up to Sludge right now to determine the fate of this fight. Obviously trying to set it up to make sure they can try to hit as many people as possible. Go right in the back line. It's five people landing with the EMP coming out from Sludge, and the kills are all there. The primal rate from Lego Maego is only one little cherry on top of the massive cake that Sludge set up the team with.
Yeah, and even with that, that's great. But now Space Created has no ult, whereas Hades has 4. Obviously, Victus just swapped over to the Cassidy, so this could be huge for them. Nano Blade and the Beats could be a great hold for them.
Here comes that Nano Blade from Hokage to start out, and already both supports dead in a single slice. A good start coming out here from the side of Hades. Evase uses the Beat to make sure that they can stay alive, and it's going to be Hades pushing this car toward that final meterage.
Yeah, this is going to be rough for Hades. 30 seconds left. All they have now is the bomb. And now Space Created is coming up on their own blade of theirs, and no beat now for the Gates.
Yeah, this definitely could be a chance for Space Created to try and take this back. Habutai has the beat online. Do they wait for the nano boost? No, they're just going to unleash it immediately, trying to find a pick, but they end up getting pushed out for the rest of the team. Hokage able to find the kill on the Lego Maego. We've got a good start here for the side of Space Created as the bomb's out coming out from They Call Me M, forcing everybody off the card. Victus also finds the kill on the Saya as the rest of Space Created trying to stagger onto the card, but the kills are all in Hades' favor. Hades is going to go to match point here in the series once they clear up Lego Maego on this ball. That Deadeye from Victus will probably do just the trick. It will indeed. Match point to Hades as they enter map number 4.
Yeah, Victus Victus turned into that Cassidy. Third point just decided, you know what, this is my character, this is my time to shine. We've been talking about everybody else. Here we go, play the game.
Yeah, Victus' Cassidy was the difference maker, I think. Once they had this Cassidy here on the deadlock area, there was no turning back. This Cassidy made the difference in the long run and helped win Hades this point. And now it's map 5 situation. It's map 4 situation. Hades is currently up 2-1. The next map determines if Space Created are going home 0-2. So to start off the stage, or if Hades are going, or if they're going to a map 5 situation. It's all on the push map choice here from Space Created. What do they choose?
Honestly, in my opinion, I really like Esperanza for them. It has a little bit of high ground, can play that dive comp, which I think they really like. I think with the more linear playstyle of New Queen Street and Coliseo, it's going to be very tough for them to play that dive style that they love. If they do decide to pick that, I could see them going for that Kuriko comp that we saw in Lijiang. So I think, honestly, any map that they pick here could be good for them.
Yeah, so we'll definitely see what they decide to go here for our push maps between Coliseo, New Queen Street, and Esperanza. So it's going to be interesting. These have been very close. This has been a very close series. And speaking of other close series, another close series that happened in Discord tier today, Adrenalins versus Thunder Duckies went to a map 5, and it was Adrenalins taking home the win over the Thunder Duckies in that group as well. Currently, other matches going on. Cosmic Castaways versus Vampires is currently 2-1 in favor of the Vampires. Cosmic Castaways looking for a big win here to try and continue their elimination pool run, as now the map has been chosen here from the side of Space Created. We are going to Coliseo for what could be our final map of the series.
Yeah, and Colosseo is one that we've seen for a while now for push. We saw it in the betas. We've seen it for a while, and it looks like it's going to be one of those maps too, where the Kiriko comp for the side of Space Created could be very big for them. Getting able to get that sort of that sort of execution, sort of get in, get out as fast as you can playstyle of theirs could be something that could turn the fight.
Yeah, definitely. So we'll have to see what these two teams decide to do here and who's going to be able to take the advantage in this series. Again, the current stakes. Hades take the map, they win the series. Space Created take the map. We go to that decider tiebreaker map, as you see there on the bottom. So it's going to be all determined on who wins it out here on Colosseo as we head into our fourth map, our push map in the series.
Yeah, and push is also a very fun game type in my opinion. I think they could change it a little bit, but even then, it's going to be very interesting to see how these two teams duel it out on push.
Last time I casted a push map, it was this exact situation. 2-1 in favor of what the team that was seen as the underdogs coming in. And it was a very close affair, but it was the underdogs coming out. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw the exact same situation here as we enter into Colosseo here with the compositions being shown on screen. And we see the Zarya from Hades and the D.Va from Space Created. Keegsmon Swag is back in for Lego My Ego.
Yeah, and it looks like it's going to be very similar to Lijiang, especially with the comps. They basically are choosing the exact same comps from Lijiang Tower.
5, 4.
Now the gates are about to open. We'll see if these two teams are able to bring themselves to the victory here on Colosseo in front of the famous Roman Colosseum as the two teams run toward the center with their compositions. Definitely going to be interesting to see, especially with Space Created running that Kiriko again. We haven't seen that Kiriko, as you mentioned, since Lijiang Tower, so it's going to be interesting to see what the two teams do as they meet up in the center for the first time. Avatai looking for the sort of picks here on the Genji, and They Call Me M trying to push forward as Keegsmon Swag pushes forward, and the rail shot from VicFist connects straight onto the head of the Fox. Aristotle back to spawn, and They Call Me M will finish out Avatai as well. Hades looks like they'll be getting first control of the box.
Yeah, and that was really good. That was a great shot from VicFist. Just waiting for Aristotle and Space Created to sort of engage into them and just getting a nice little overclock.
As you see the Baby D.Va getting staggered out as well. Sludge, Sai, and Keegsmon Swag will all die at the same time, but it's not enough to keep Space Created in the fight. The bot will start moving forward in the favor of Hades.
Yeah. At this point too, if you get it pretty far in the first fight, it seems like it could be over. But even then, it's going to be a tough fight for Space Created to come back to.
See the rest of Hades trying to push forward here, trying to take as much space as possible so that bot can move forward. And you already see Keegsmon Swag trying to dive onto the Baptiste, is met with a face full of They Call Me M on the Zarya. Sludge dies as well here on that Sombra, and Hades looking to try and sweep this match under the rug and send Space Created home early.
Oh yeah, and it looks like they are firing on all cylinders right now.
Yeah, they look like they're firing on every single cylinder available right now, and they've just been unstoppable. How does Space Created answer this here, Karma?
My best bet, try to pick a Vayne. Try to pick a Lucio first. If you can't move around, you're basically a sitting duck for this dive bomb.
You already see Sludge trying to sneak into the backline, but ends up getting found out by They Call Me M right when they go into stealth. Habutai also dies here to VicFist, so that bot is going to be able to get the first checkpoint here. It does mean that quick response will come in play here for Space Created right when that bot caps the checkpoint, but still, Hades, they're looking extremely comfortable pushing this bot forward.
Yeah, and they're just taking the space. They're not letting Space Created get out of spawn.
Oh, and there comes the blade and the Graviton Surge coming out from Hades. Aristotle and Habutai die as a result. Keegsmon Swag is not having a good time at all on this D.Va right now. As Hades, they continue pushing that card almost to 100 meters. We could see a full cap here on Colosseo.
Yeah, and it hasn't even looked like Space Created has even tried to stop Hades. Hades has just been pushing this bot non-stop since the beginning.
Oh, but a good hack here coming out from Sludge will get canceled out from the bubble from They Call Me M. Down to the overclock and the window coming out from Zero. Habutai releases the blade, able to get the kill into VicFist, and Sludge is found too. Finally, Space Created have seemed to have woken up, and now they'll be sending that bot right back to the center.
Yeah, they did have to use a few ults to get it back, but at least they do it. Now they have that EMP and the Kitsune rush. So I want to see how they use it sort of... I don't want to use them at the same time, but I want to see how they use it separately to see how they win the fight.
Yeah, we'll definitely see how they're able to do it. As you see Hades, they're running back toward the center. They do have that close spawn here for the side of Hades, so obviously you have to be wary of this if you are Space Created, and you have to be setting it up. You see Sludge going for the outside, looking for the perfect opportunity. Does have this EMP, and you see Evade hiding. They know that the EMP is online, and they are ready with the beat, but they end up getting hacked. Now Sludge knows that they have the beat, and are ready to respond to it whenever. Hades able to stop the bot before it hits the mid, and cancels out those close spawns for them, as the rest of Space Created trying to push forward. Habutai is picked out here by Hokage, as now Space Created need to try to find some sort of answer without their Genji in the mix. Evade wants to get hacked. Sludge is trying to pick them out before using this EMP first, but the rest of their team is dying behind them.
Yeah, that's great from They Call Me M, just walking past basically the line and just going to the point. But the one thing I gotta say though is Sludge had their translocator so far away from the rest of the team that it took them about a few seconds to come back. They could have moved it to a closer location, so that way they could have taken that early fight once they knew where the Lucio was, and it just sort of ruined their momentum.
Here comes the Kitsune Rush coming out here from Aristotle, as the lamp is also used here from Serial. They will die first. Aristotle, however, dies to Vicfist here on that Sojourn, so Space Created down one of their supports, but at a cost of their own. Now Vicfist able to get the kill onto Habutai here. Space Created still try to push forward and get this spot sent back to the neutral.
Yeah, and hopefully Space Created is hoping they can do it, so that way they lose the early spawns from Hades.
Yeah, you gotta be careful as well. They Call Me M going onto the high ground, gets hacked out. They have the grab online. Do they want to invest it? No. Habutai able to finish them out before they're able to invest in any base guys as well. So Hades looks like they're willing to give up the spot for now, and now Space Created starting to push it toward back that 0 meters.
Yeah, and Evates is just holding on to this beat for the entire time, just waiting for that EMP for Sludge.
Absolutely, and now you know that the bot hit the median, which means that the close spawns are gone. So a Graviton Surge comes in here from They Call Me M, and the EMP is used from Sludge, but it only lands on the 2, but it's still enough. Evasive Serial now dead. The bomb comes out here from Kingsbone Swag, and Habutai is making sushi out of a team of Hades, just cleaning up everybody on the Genji, and Space Creative will start pushing this bot barricade forward.
Yeah, this is what they needed. They needed to get a pretty good play, and they were able to do so. Sludge finding that Lucio with the beat and making so Evates can't even use it, but now he has it for Habutai's blade. So it could be very difficult for them even now with the sound barrier still being up.
Definitely see what the move is here from the side of Hades here as Space Created start pushing that bot forward. It's a long road, but the beating gate and the blade coming out here from Hokage and Evade. No kills resulted from the blade, however, but as I say that, Habutai gets a little bit too close to the storm and gets sliced out. Kingsbone Swag is able to find Serial, however, so the kill might still be winnable here for the side of Space Created. As you see Habutai trying to run back. The overclock is used here from Vicfist, and Sludge is able to find Hokage, and now They Call Me M finds the kill, and They Call Me on the Kingsbone Swag. Excuse me, I'm confusing names here, but you know what's not confusing? The fact that Hades are starting to win this fight again.
Yeah, and they're just M having this high charge is just unfair. They're just able to beam down everybody within a few seconds and just carry the fight. It's like
Zarya, as I mentioned on map 1, very powerful, can really counter most abilities that negate damage from tanks. So They Call Me M on this Zarya definitely seems like it's the right choice. The close spawns will be activated again here for the side of Hades. The Space Creators use that Kitsune Rush to push forward, and they already find the kill on the They Call Me M. That is massive. The charge now reset here for that Zarya, and now the rest of the kills all going the way here of Space Created. That bot will move a little bit extra, which might make the difference, but now Space Created get the bot once again in their favor.
Yeah, and they have 2 minutes 30 seconds to make it that far too, and they gotta make sure they win these fights because now Hades has those close spawns again, so they're just gonna be able to fight before the midpoint.
Yeah, Definitely. Hades looking for the next engage here. They had this Graviton Surge from They Call Me M. The bomb comes out here from Key Funk Slide, just baits them out. But now the EMP comes out from Sludge. It lands on the 2. Hokage dies, as now Sludge dies as well. Serial's dead as well. The kills are going back and forth. The grab from They Call Me M lands on the both supports, and Saya's the only one killed out of it. Aristotle trying to keep the rest of the team alive as Key Funk Slab wins the tank duel. Now Victus trying to finish off that Kiriko, but it's unable to do so as Habutai comes back in to eliminate 2. Space Created will be able to push this bot further.
Oh yeah, that was a great play from Space Created, just taking advantage when they could. But now Evades and Serial have their support ult, whereas for Space Created, they only have Habutai's blade.
Yeah, it's going to be very rough here for the side of Hades, but Victus dies first. Aristotle risks their life for it as the beat and the Amplification Matrix come out at the same time here. Sludge is able to find the kill on the Serial though. Hokage able to find the kill on the Habutai, now unleashes his own blade, trying to find the kill on the Saya and will be able to. Now all of a sudden this Key Funk Slab, they will be able to finish out that Genji, but now they're going to be losing them back. The rest of Hades is being able to hold this with a minute left on the clock.
Yeah, this is looking rough for Space Created. If they're able to get this early spawns, I think we might have to call it wraps there.
They are able to spawn, but they have to spawn at the far back. Hades does not get the early spawn yet. Reminder, when the checkpoint is, when the bot is past the checkpoint, the early spawns are initiated at least until it hits the median. You see that bot getting close to that area, but it's going to turn back in favor of Space Created here as Hades starts to back off a little bit. They know that it's only one fight left and 30 seconds to secure the victory here. The overclock is invested here from Victus as the Kitsune Rush invested from Aristotle, and Habutai is already dead to a base. Space Created, they need to try to find answers, and they need to try to find them now. The bomb is going to come out here from Key Funk Swag. It needs to be big, and it will find him. The boost coming out from Saya kills out the Zarya. 10 seconds remaining here for Space Created to try and bring this spot as far as they can here. Overtime is going to be triggered as the rest of Hades just trying to stall out the spot and make sure that the rest of the team is able to respond quickly and effectively. Space Created will get control of the spot, and those light staggers onto Hades members might give them a chance to get to the barrier.
Yeah, they have this EMP up and ready to go for Sludge. They can't step off the bot though. If they step off the bot, they will lose, it seems like.
Absolutely, they have to be careful about that bot. We do not want to see another Charlie Niner here, courtesy of a team. So Space Creators are about to push this bot. It's a 5-man EMP coming out from Sludge. The kills are not coming in yet, but that's a good thing. The checkpoint has now been unlocked here, as now Hades need to try and win this out. King Funk Flag loses their back. This could be disastrous. The Science beat does not come in time. King Funk Flag, however, is beaten on that Baby Diva, trying to keep themselves alive. The application maker from Serial is there, and the rest of the kills all going Hades' way. The bot will turn around, and Hades will be declaring themselves the rulers of the underworld and winning the series over Space Created 3-1.
Yeah, and that was a great team fight. The beat came out a little bit late on the side of Space Created, and it's just, you could just see it right then and there. It looked like it was match, game, and set.
That seems to be set right there. Hades coming in as the underdog. Not a great performance in stage number 1. They gave Reckless Upsilon their first win of the season, and now they're coming into this, and now they've won both of their matches here in stage number 2, and are looking like a fiery dark horse as the playoffs are starting in just 2 weeks. So Hades doing a really good job. Space Created having some sort of issues, but still looking like a strong team all around. It was a very close affair all the way, but Hades was the one that came through in the end and got the victory here in this matchup. But now, as the dust is settled, and now Space Created, unfortunately, having a nice sauna in the underworld. Karma, I have to ask you, who is your player of the match from the side of Hades?
My player of the match has to be Victus. Carried on route. He didn't really have a big map and point 1 on Lijiang, but even then you saw it come out at the very end. They had those great plays that come out and just made almost like the game-winning plays for most people.
Yeah, Victus, they definitely were a force to be reckoned with, especially on Route 66. Switching to that Cassidy, not really known as a meta pick, especially right now in the current Overwatch League or any sort of Overwatch 2 meta. Was able to make it work and turn the tide when it mattered the most. So great job there from Victus. I'm giving my player of the match to They Call Me M on that tank role. I mean, this is the only tank player that Hades have. And that's there is a good reason why They Call Me M. Zarya is lethal and did a lot of damage to Space Create and was able to bring them to victory in this match. So They Call Me M is my player of the match. And also big shout out to the name I kept mispronouncing the entire time, which was Hades' flex DPS of Hokage. I apologize for all the mispronunciations, but still, really good performance on that Genji. The Nano Blades were really good throughout the entire series, but at the end of the day, it's Hades being able to take the win here. Space Created having an opportunity next week when they face off against Ragnarok Loki, but definitely a very rough start to their stage number 2. But that is it for us here tonight. Make sure that you stay tuned next week as we have our final week of stage number 2, starting off with the Iris podcast airing on Monday night. But that is going to do it for us here today. For my wonderful co-caster, Karma, and our amazing producer, THC, we thank you all for watching. My name has been Bowsy. Until we meet again, we hope you have an amazing night.
Peace.